Hello and welcome to today's technical series lecture, Energy Systems. In today's Energy Systems lecture, we are going to cover the certified fitness trainer, certified personal trainer curriculum. So this would include your ACSM, ACE, NASM, ESA, all of those. So we will first do the lecture and then we'll do some MCQs. Now, this topic, energy systems, is super duper important as a trainer. See, remember this. Every topic that you do in your certified fitness trainer program, you have to take it and go on ground. You have to take it on the floor with you. You should be able to implement it with your client. Thus, it is very important to understand every single topic from a practical point of view. Now, what happens is the courses that you are doing, over there the lecturer who is taking the lecture. See my 7 episode fitness series for fitness center. In that, I think it was the certification lecture. Yeah, certification lecture, lecture number 4, in which I very clearly told you that always see who's teaching you. Cardiac surgeon, physiotherapist, Ayurvedic doctor. If these people start teaching you, which they are, then this problem happens. And how educated they are, then that you have to see. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because see how I am going to teach you energy systems now. How practically I will take you on the ground and teach you. Now, what we do is, we are going to start with an example. Okay? You are standing ready to burst for a 100-meter sprint. No, more than 100 meter. Come on. You are just going to take off now. Full speed, you are going to just take off and we are just going to sprint. Now, you are ready? Bang! The gun goes, boom! You take off. What happens? In the first 2 seconds itself, a energy source called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is used. Now, your cells understand only this. ATP, that's it. Carbohydrate, protein, fat, whatever you consume will be broken down and ATP will be produced inside your cell within the mitochondria. Now, this ATP will be broken down into ADP, adenosine diphosphate. The energy thus released is used to do the work. Now, this ADP has to be resynthesized back into ATP if you want to continue running. If that doesn't happen, that process is impeded for any reason, you will not be able to sprint. You will not be able to jog. You won't be able to do anything. So, how does this happen is energy systems. This is what you need to understand. That how does the body produce energy to do any kind of work? In this case, sprinting or running. So, you took off within 2 seconds, ATP over. What does the body do? Instantly jumps to the second source of energy, ATP CP source of energy, adenosine triphosphate, creatine phosphate source of energy, also called as phosphagen source of energy, also called as anaerobic alactic source of energy. Now just note this down. I will come to it that why it is called. Over here, what happens is this creatine phosphate is used to synthesize this ADP back into ATP. Now, the problem with this is, this creatine phosphate is there in the muscle in very small quantities. Gets over in 10 seconds. Thus, which kind of activities come into this source of energy? Weightlifting, correct? Powerlifting, 40-meter dash, all burst in intense activity, burst activity, strength activity come into this source of energy, creatine phosphate. You remember the whole supplementation part of creatine? I'll come to all that later in the nutrition part. But this is what the creatine phosphate source of energy does. And bang, here an MCQ can come. ATP CP source of energy lasts for how long? A, 2 seconds. B, 10 seconds. C, 20 seconds. D, 30 seconds. You should know it is 10 seconds. So, we were ready to sprint. We started off 2 seconds, ATP got over. Instantly body starts producing more ATP. The ATP CP source of energy. The phosphagen source of energy. Anaerobic alactic source of energy. But it will last only 10 seconds. All speed and strength sports come into this source of energy. Thus, when their training happens, exclusive focus is given on this energy system. So, it is not as simple as just creatine phosphate being used. So, the whole lot of things go into that. That we will cover in our diploma course lectures, in our degree course lectures, all that. Right now, for your certified personal trainer course, this much is there in your curriculum, so I am going to talk only that much. Now, after 10 seconds, what happens practically? Not even 10 seconds, before that, 8 seconds, 6, 8, 10, what happens? If you want to continue running, what will you have to do? Practically, you will have to reduce your speed. Can you maintain that same speed for 1 kilometer? Of course. Why? Creatine phosphate is over, and now for the ATP, your body has to switch into the second source of energy called as the glycolytic source of energy, anaerobic lactic source of energy. Now, here creatine phosphate was used to resynthesize ADP back into ATP. Here, now when the body comes into this source of energy, glycogen. Glycogen, what is glycogen? Carbohydrate stored in the muscle. Glycogen is used to resynthesize ADP back into ATP in the absence of oxygen. Absence of oxygen. And because here oxygen is not used to burn glycogen, a byproduct called lactic acid is produced. So, as you continue sprinting in your maximum speed, while your speed is going down, you feel that burn happening in your body. This causes it. This can be maintained only for 60 seconds max. So, in the MCQ, if this comes, you should know it's 60 seconds. Now, here oxygen is used to burn creatine phosphate? No. Here, oxygen is used to resynthesize, to break glycogen, to resynthesize ADP into ATP? No. Therefore, both of these are known as your anaerobic pathway. So, ATP CP source of energy and your glycolytic source of energy are which pathways? A. Anaerobic. B. Aerobic. C. None of the above. D. All of the above. Anaerobic pathway. This is how they make MCQs. So you got to understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, you will crack any MCQ after that. So now you are continuing running. 100 meter, 200 meter, burn. Now, this is not as simple as lactic acid. In your certified personal trainer course, they have simplified it by just putting, it's not lactic, it's more than lactic. The hydrogen ions, there is ROS, there's a lot of other things going in there. But we will cover that when the time comes. Right now, your certified fitness trainer programs always use just this, lactic acid. So let's just talk lactic acid. Now, remember I gave you one name here and here, anaerobic lactic source of energy. Why? Because a byproduct called lactic acid is produced even though it is an anaerobic source of energy. Anaerobic alactic source of energy. Here lactic acid is not produced when creatine phosphate is broken down into C plus P to resynthesize ADP back into ATP. That is the reason why here the name anaerobic alactic source of energy. Anaerobic lactic acid source of energy. So all your 200 meter sprint, 400 meter sprint, all of those sprinting activities come in this source of energy. Martial arts, wrestling, MMA, judo, all of those come into this. What is the time limit over there? 4 minutes. Now, get this very clear. Huh? When I am telling you this source of energy and this source, it doesn't mean body completely switches this off and starts this. It is progressive. So the correct word is dominant. Dominant source of energy. So in martial arts, when you are doing a 5-minute bout, it doesn't mean that this or the last one that we are going to discuss, the oxygen source of energy, is not used. Everything is used. But the dominant source of energy is this at that time. Thus, the training, when we do the periodization of training, this energy system is kept in mind and the entire periodization of micros and macro cycle is designed around it. And these two are used especially in off seasons to prepare the athlete for the on-season training in this energy system. You understanding how much in depth all this is? So it's very important that at this level, at a certified personal trainer level, you start understanding these concepts like this. Don't sit and by heart it. Anaerobic system, it doesn't work like that. You got to understand it. You got to take it practically to the ground and understand it. Now, glycolytic source of energy, your anaerobic lactic acid source of energy. Okay, so we were running. Now we are running. We are feeling the burn, 200 meter. You are panting. Can't run. Continue running. What will you have to do? You will be forced to reduce your speed further. Yes? And bang, you go into the last source of energy. Oxygen source of energy. Aerobic source of energy. Now pay attention. Here, creatine phosphate was used to resynthesize ADP back into ATP. Correct? No lactic acid produced. Here when the body came, 200 meter time when you reach there, glycogen was broken down to resynthesize ADP back into ATP in the absence of oxygen. Byproduct, lactic acid. Here, again, glycogen is used to resynthesize ADP back into ATP in the presence of oxygen. Absence of oxygen, glycogen in the absence of oxygen, glycogen in the presence of oxygen. Byproduct lactic acid, byproduct carbon dioxide and water. Both are thrown out through perspiration and breathing, exhalation. You're running, you're breathing, running. This is what is happening. You're understanding me? So this, now how long will this go on? You tell me how much is your capacity, 1 hour, 2 hour, how long you can run? Run. But you cannot maintain this speed. Why? Because here you are so fast that your body doesn't have time to take oxygen, take creatine, burn them together, produce ATP. No time. Without oxygen, anaerobic source of energy. Even though here you have reduced your speed, still body doesn't have time to take glycogen, take oxygen, you burn the gas and then produce, doesn't have time. Byproduct, lactic acid, anaerobic source of energy. Here, when you come down to jogging, body has enough time. It will take glycogen, it will take oxygen, it will burn it nicely, produce ADP, ATP, and you will continue running. This is how it works. Now, as the portion goes ahead, how many ATPs are produced here? What is the name of that source of energy? How many ATPs are produced here? What is the name of that source of energy? How many ATPs are produced here? Why we can go 1-2 hours? 32 ATPs. Why? Which source? What is happening? Which cycle? All that will come into play. Then you will come to know why here when 2 ATPs is produced, nothing is happening. 32 ATPs are producing. All that will come into play only if you are taught like this. Then the curiosity comes in of a fitness trainer. Then the questions come in of a fitness trainer. Why? And then the answer will come and always should come from a fitness trainer. Who you aspire to be, who you want to be, who is already at that level. Only he can tell you this. Only she can tell you this. And this is the reason why I have come online and I am preparing these kind of lecture series so that you understand why only few handful of trainers like me. Why not others? And now I want every single one of you to be like this. Understand it, take it to the every single topic. You will take it to the ground, you will take it practically and you will understand it. No more opening book and ratta-patta. Now, let's do some quick MCQs so that you can understand how it goes. NASM. This one came in the NASM. Anaerobic exercise is. Now, anaerobic exercise is here we are. Anaerobic exercise is endurance exercise. Anaerobic exercise is endurance exercise? No, this is endurance exercise. Correct? Non-endurance training. Sounds good. All of the above? No. None of the above? No. B. Non-endurance training. See, if you understand the concept, how you will crack the MCQs. Now, this one again came from an NASM. What is anaerobic threshold? Oh, good one. See, the MCQ came, so I will be able to explain this to you. Now, in your personal trainer course level, remember this. When you say anaerobic threshold, I told you, you're running. Now burning. I cannot run. That point where your body is like, you either reduce the speed or else you stop. You have only two choices. I cannot tolerate this anymore. That point is called the anaerobic threshold. Now, this is a very basic way of seeing. As it progresses, we will properly draw the graph. We will see anaerobic threshold 1, anaerobic threshold 2. What is the difference between these two? How to locate them, how to catch them, all that we will do later. Right now, at the personal trainer level course, you don't have VT1, VT2s and all happening. Just remember the point where the anaerobic part, the lactic acid burn part is so much that you cannot tolerate it anymore is the anaerobic threshold. Okay? So, what is anaerobic threshold? A. When lactic acid decreases rapidly? No. What did I say? When it increases so much that you cannot. So, decreases rapidly? Definitely no. B. The body can no longer produce enough energy with normal oxygen intake. Sounds interesting. C. Measurable O2 consumption after demanding activity. So that's measuring, right? What is that got to do with your anaerobic threshold? All of the above. No. So your your B makes really sense. The body can no longer produce enough energy with normal oxygen intake. So that is your correct answer. Now, we've taken one from ACL. Let's take one from ACSM. ATP via anaerobic glycolysis is associated with the significant formation of what byproduct? ATP via anaerobic glycolysis here is associated with the significant formation of what byproduct? Okay, pyruvic acid, we never spoke about it. Phosphoric acid, never heard about it. Citric acid, never came up in the topic. Lactic acid, boom, correct answer. Lactic acid. Now, one more MCQ, just one last MCQ. What is the term used to describe the body's ability to utilize oxygen? So, we are here. Utilize oxygen during exercise. Lactate threshold. No, lactate threshold is here. Anaerobic threshold. It's here. Anaerobic capacity. That's here. Oxygen consumption. Correct answer. So you see, once you understand this concept, how easy it becomes to crack these MCQs. And will you now be able to take this practically on the ground? Yes, you will. And now you have to tell me, which topics are you not understanding in your curriculum to crack your CPT course? I will make lectures like this and give you. If you have already cracked your CPT and you've got your certification and you feel a trainer friend of yours can benefit from lectures like this, send it to them. Pass this video to every single trainer friend of yours. Because remember, if we come together and if we change this education system, we make it practical, we make it hands-on with both the business series which I have started and the technical series, because you need both to be successful. We can beat any competition anywhere in the world. So come, let's do this together. I'll see you in my next technical lecture now. Thank you.